Welcome to another D-Rich 10-minute Bible hour. You gotta excuse my voice. It's a little bit sore. I don't know if I got that Zika virus or whatever is going around. But I got a little bit of a sore throat. So today's lesson is going to be on Luke 11. And we know we kind of went through it a little bit already when we were talking about prayer. The difference between petitioning and praying to God. The first half of Luke 11, or the first portion of Luke 11, is basically the model of the Lord's Prayer that's been given. But right after that, Jesus goes into a teaching on what it is that we're praying for. He starts out with verse 5 with a parable. It says, Jesus said to them, "Suppose you have a friend that goes to you at midnight and says, 'Friend, lend me 3 loaves of bread. A friend of mine is come to me on a long journey, and I have no food to offer to him,'" which was very important back in those days. So someone comes to your house, you're supposed to feed and care for them. So it was a very big sign of disrespect if you couldn't provide for that the people that show up. So he goes to a friend's house. This guy goes to his friend's house and asks for a loaf of bread. And then verse 7, he says, "Suppose one of the ones on the inside," verse 7, "and suppose one of the ones on the inside answers, 'Don't bother me. The door's already locked. My children and I are in bed. I can't get up and give you anything.' I tell you, even though he will not get up because of friendship, he will get up because of your shameless audacity. He will surely get up and give you as much as you need if you keep on asking and keep on knocking." So verse 9, Jesus says, "I say to you, ask and it will be given unto you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open unto you. For everyone who asks receives, and those who seek will find. And those who knock, the door will be open." Okay, then he goes on in verse 11, says, "Which of your fathers, if your son asks for a fish, will give him a scorpion instead? If he asks for an egg, will you give him a snake?" I think I got those two reversed. But if you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give you the gift of the Holy Spirit for those who ask him?" That right there, that last chapter, that last little bit, is what the first portion of Luke 11, how to pray, what to pray for, how to do it in such an insistent way. All of that is concerning the Holy Spirit. So the idea here is to ask. We ask in prayer. We ask through mediums like this, through forums. We ask God directly, about the Holy Spirit. What are the signs of the Spirit? What are the gifts of the Spirit? What are the fruit of the Spirit? That sort of thing. Then we seek it. We seek it not only in our Bibles. We seek it through discussion. We seek Him through the things that we do. God may put it on our heart to see. You see a guy that's been standing on the street corner for a long time, asking for a bite to eat or whatever. And you may have seen him there 100 times, just standing there, and you've never paid him any never mind. And then all of a sudden, something just puts it on your heart, man. You gotta get that guy a sandwich. You gotta go and get that guy something to drink. He looks pretty hot. He looks pretty tired. He looks pretty thirsty. And you might have to go and take 5 or 10 minutes out of your day to go circle around, get him something to drink, and bring it back to him. But that's how we seek. God puts something on your heart, and you fulfill it. It's as simple as that. And here's the part where everybody claims to have ever sought out God before fails. Then we knock. We have to knock. Continue knocking and continue knocking. Even to the point where it feels like our hand's going to fall off. Because God says here, even though your friendship with him would not get him to give you what you asked for, your sheer persistence. In this case, God is the neighbor that's all locked up inside that has what you want. And even if you don't have a relationship with him, your sheer persistence will have him get up and provide you with what you need or what you're asking for. And again, that what you're asking for is the Holy Spirit. Those of you who want proof of God, that's your proof. How much more proof of God do you need than to be set across from God himself? And think about that. What else could you possibly want? What else could you possibly ask for if you had an audience with God? That's what's on the table here. That's what's being offered. That's how, that's what I cashed in on. And that's one of the things, I used to bring to the forums all the time was this message of ask, A.S.K. You ask, you seek, you knock, A.S.K. I asked, and I still do every day, and the door was open. I got my story. I got to sit across from one of his messengers. I got to listen to the man speak. I got to ask the dude questions in my head. Didn't say a word out loud. Did not say a word out loud. And dude was answering my questions. Okay. I'm not special. There's not a special bone about me. The same thing that was offered to me through this verse is offered to you. Okay. It was offered to Thomas. Jesus, when Thomas wanted to put his hands in the open wounds, didn't throw Thomas under the bus, didn't tell him, he was worthless. He didn't have enough faith. He wasn't worthy. What did Jesus do? He provided Thomas with exactly what he needed. What did Christ do for me? He provided me with exactly what I needed, when I needed it, in the right amount, to the point where not one of you has enough to say to dissuade my belief, because I've seen it. I experienced it. I know it to be true. Okay? What is he offering you? The same thing. Maybe not to the exact same detail that I experienced it, but you will get exactly what you need to start, establish, and maintain your faith and your belief, because you ask for the Holy Spirit. That's what you got to do. Again, salvation is simple. It doesn't have to happen right now. He even says it, right here. Even if you're not my friend, your persistence will get me up to get you what you're asking for. Well, there's something to think about anyway. Until the next Bible Minute.